And before that, I did my master's in Australia, and I worked there for 4 years. And I came back to India for good. For the last 8 years, I am working as a clinical SaaS programmer in one of the MNC companies in Hyderabad. Generally, in the morning time, I take classes, but since I have some break in the afternoon, in the evening time also, I'm taking 1 or 2 classes in the night, evening. So the next 5 months, I'm going to take base and advanced SaaS classes if you are coming for clinical SaaS, and I'm going to take the project classes. So if you are into the banking, some other people will take the banking class, some other faculty, banking project. But I'm going to take the base and advanced SaaS. Ajay Reddy, I'm getting from background noise from your side. If you don't have any questions, please mute your mic.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So what I'm going to do in today's class, I'm going to give a simple program so that you can understand. And most of you might have attended my demo class. And in the demo class, I told you, in the clinical research, SaaS is a mandatory. According to the FDA guidelines, if you want to get approval for any drug, you should get a permission from FDA. And you know what you mean by FDA? Food and Drug Administration of USA. You need to get a permission from FDA. Now, if you want to get a permission from FDA, what we should do? I told you, before getting a permission, before launching our application, we are going to do clinical trials and some patients. So by doing the clinical trials, we are going to get the data from the patients, and we need to analyze this data, and that process, we call it as a data analysis. And once we're done with the data analysis, we are going to submit this analysis report to the FDA. Now, FDA is going to look into that FDA analysis report. If they believe that analysis report is good and if a drug is showing a lot of safety and efficacy, then they will give the permission to market our drug. So ultimately, what we need to conduct the clinical trials. And through the clinical trials, we are going to have so much of data. And when we have a data, we need to analyze the data. So yes, we are going to do the data analysis. And once we have done the data analysis, from the data analysis, you will get the analysis report. And once you got the report, now we are going to submit the report to FDA. Now FDA is going to review our report. If they believe that your drug is really worked well in the patients, then they will give the permission to manufacture our drug and to market our drug. Okay. Now, I told you, when you are submitting the report to FDA, FDA will ask you a question. How you generated this analysis report? What is the tool that you have been using? Now, according to the FDA guidelines, you have to use only SaaS software. If you use anything other than the SaaS, they won't accept your application. That means in clinical research, SaaS is 100% mandatory. You should not use any other tool except the SaaS. If you use anything other than the SaaS, they won't accept our application and you won't get the permission. You cannot manufacture our drug and you cannot market our drug. So that means if you want to get an approval for our new drug, FDA, you should get the permission from FDA. To get the permission, you need to do the analysis, data analysis, and to do the data analysis, you have to use SaaS. That's why I told you, as a life sciences graduate, or in fact, any graduate, if you want to become a clinical SaaS programmer, If you learn SAS properly in clinical research, there is 100% job guarantee. 100% job guarantee. That's why we are all learning SAS. So my question is, why FDA recommending only SAS? Why FDA recommending only SAS?
Security purpose.
Security purpose.
And I told you, this is because of two important reasons. The first important reason is data safety and data security.
Accuracy.
Security and safety. If your data is not safe and your data is not secure, people like me can manipulate the data. If FDA gives a permission based on the manipulated data, ultimately what will happen? It is going to affect human health. It is going to affect the human health.
Your voice is breaking, sir.
My voice is breaking. Is it the same thing for everybody?
Yes, sir.
Not clear?
No, sir. It's perfectly fine, sir.
Sir, we are getting noise from you.
From my end. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear now?
Okay.
Clear.
Okay. So, in clinical research, data safety and data security is high priority. Only in SAS, we can get 100% data safety and security. No other tool can provide this much of data safety and security. This is one of the reasons why FDA recommends only SAS. And the second important reason is, when we conduct the clinical trial, we will get the data from the patients or from the subjects. I told you, whoever been involved in the clinical trial, we should call them as a subjects. There is a patient or a healthy volunteer, we should call them as a subjects. So when you collect the data from the patients or from the subjects, how we are going to collect the data? We are going to collect the data in a form of a CRF sheet. You know what we mean by CRF? Case record form. Case report form. You know what you mean by case report form? Whenever you go to the doctor, so when you go to the doctor for the first time, you will pay the consultation fees. And whenever you pay the consultation fees, he is going to give a file, isn't it? In the
Yes,
file,
sir.
first of all, they are going to mention your preliminary information, like what is your age, what is your gender, what is your height, what is your weight, what is the temperature, what is the blood
Blood group.
pressure. And then now we'll go to the doctor. And you will tell your problem to the doctor. Now the doctor, according to your problems and symptoms, he is going to prescribe certain diagnostic tests. Now we will go to the diagnostic center and you will give all over the samples, necessary samples like a blood sample, urine sample, all other samples. Now they will run different types of tests which has been referred by the doctor. And then maybe after 6 hours, maybe after 24 hours, what you will get now? You will get the test reports. Now they're going to print all the test reports in a paper and they're going to file the test reports in the file. They're going to record that in the file. And that is called as a CRF sheet. But in the real time, the CRF sheet is not so organized. But in the real time, in clinical trials, the CRF sheet is going to be very, very well organized. So when they conduct the clinical trial, they will collect a lot of samples from the subject. Now, from the samples, they are going to run different types of tests. When they run the test, they are going to get all the reports. They are going to note all the reports on a paper, and that paper we call it as a CRF sheet. So we collect the data from the patients in a form of a CRF sheet. So that means that in the clinical trial, now where we can find the data? We can find the data on the CRF sheet. So once we have the data on the CRF sheet, then what they will do? There is going to be a department called CDM, Clinical Data Management. You know what these people will do? They will enter the data which is present on the CRF sheet into a database. What do you mean by database? A database is a place where we can store huge amount of data in very safe and secure manner, very
Sir,
organized manner.
sorry to interrupt, but we are getting many background noises, very disturbance.
Ajay Reddy, can you keep your mic on mute, please? And anybody know, if you
Okay,
do
sir.
not have any questions, please keep your mics on mute. Is it okay, Manvi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, no, you're okay, sir.
Okay. Now right now the data is present in the database. Now, in future, you are going to become a SAS programmer. You have to do the data analysis. Now, where we have the data now, right now, the data is present in the database. If you want to do the data analysis, first of all, you should have the data as a SAS programmer. But where we have the data right now, the data is always going to be present in the database. Now, we should get the data from this database into the SAS, into the software. చూడండి, మీరు ఏదైనా డేటా అనాలిసిస్ చేయాలనుకోండి, ఫస్ట్ మీ దగ్గర ఏముండాలండి? వాట్ యూ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు డూ ద అనాలిసిస్, యూ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ ద డేటా. Now, since the data is present in the database, we should get the data into SAS. If you are getting the data from the database into SAS, we call it as a data access. The process we call it as a
Sir, I am
data
unable to see your screen, sir.
I think better you should log out and log in again. Everybody can see my screen, right?
I have done it with 2 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're watching.
Maybe you have a network issues, Sana. Now, data access means getting the data from database or outside of the SAS into SAS is called as an access. Now, once you have done the data access, the second important thing that you should do is, in the database, we are going to have all the data. But every time you did not require all the data. You will require only small part of the data for current analysis. Whatever the data that you require for current analysis, if you could able to get only that data, we call it as a data management. So for example, I will tell you a simple example. In the database, we are going to have all the clinical trial data. Now, FDA is asking a question to me. Now tell me, how many patients has got nausea when they are using your drug? Understand? How many people has got nausea when they are using your drug? Now, what should I do now? I should get only the information about the patients who got only nausea. I don't require all the patients' information. Sometimes the FDA will ask you how your drug is working with the lactating mothers. How your drug is working with lactating mothers. So I need to get only the patients who are lactating mothers. Sometimes the FDA will ask you a question, how your drug is working with the patients with age greater than 65. Now I need to have only the patients whose age is greater than 65 only. Or they will ask you how your drug is working with thyroid patients, or how your drug is working with the cardiac patients. So now every time they are going to ask you very specific questions. Now whatever the questions they asked, now we need to submit that report only. To submit the report, you may not require complete data. You will require only small part of the data. Whatever the data that you require, if you could able to access only that part of the data from the database into SAS is called as a data management. You should be able to manage. Understand this one. Once you have done with the data management second step, and the third step, the most important, why we choose SAS? We have chosen SAS for the data analysis. The most important thing is we have to analyze the data. How we are going to analyze the data? We are going to have so many statistical concepts here. By using those statistical concepts, I'm going to analyze the data. Don't worry, if I say statistical concepts, you no need to know the formulas, you no need to know the definitions and all the other concepts. By using right keyword, we can do the data analysis by using the statistical concepts and we'll generate the report. So the most third important thing that we should do is data analysis. And the fourth important thing is, once we have done the analysis, what you will get after the analysis, now we'll get the report. And once you generate the report, now we should submit the report to FDA, or maybe if it is India, DCGI. So to whoever it might be, you have to submit the report. Submitting the report is called as a data presentation, or we also call it as a data reporting. SAS is the only tool. It can do data access. It can do data management. It can do data analysis. And it can do data presentation or data reporting. That's why SAS is called a complete analysis tool. Analysis tool ante, if you do only analysis, that would not be enough. Along with the analysis, you should do other concepts as well. If you do other things also, then we can say it is a complete analysis tool. Only SAS can do that one. No other tool can do that one. Because we have 100% data safety and security. And the second important thing is it can do data access, data management, analysis and reporting at one place. That's why FDA is recommending only SAS. SAS has been associating with the clinical research and FDA from the last 40 years, and it is going to be associated with the next 20 years at least. That's right. As a life sciences graduate or as a graduate, if you learn SAS properly, there is 100% job guarantee because there is no competition for SAS in the clinical research. There is no competition at all. We have to use only one tool. Understand this one? Be able to
Yes,
follow
sir.
what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's great. Now, if somebody asked you, what is the SAS functionality? You can say SAS has got 4 functionalities. Those are data access, data management, data analysis, data reporting. Understanding? Understand? So in today's class, what I'm going to do, I will start writing a program. How we can do the data access, data management, data analysis, and data reporting. But before moving into that, and some of you might not know, this is the first class, how to learn SAS. Can we learn it SAS? Is it going to be easy or difficult? Can we manage it? So many guys might have so many doubts. SAS is going to be one of the easiest programming languages that we have on this earth. The easiest language. If you couldn't able to learn SAS, you cannot learn any other programming language. That much easy SAS is. How do you know that SAS is easy? Something easy maybe for me and something easy for you, but in general, what you mean by easy? Vaishnavi, am I audible to you? Can you please switch off your video? Thank you. So what do you mean by easy? I told you SAS is called as a 4th generation language. You know what you mean by 4th generation language? And I told you we can divide all the programming languages into 1st generation, 2nd generation, 3rd generation, and so on and so on. So increasing with these generations, these programming languages is going to be user friendly. So, right now we used to have in the 1st generation, like, MS-DOS or something, then 2nd generation, C++, then Java, and right now we have the 4th generation. Increasing with these generations, it is going to become more and more user friendly. What do you mean by user friendly? Who is the user? User is nothing but the programmer who uses that programming language. Now, what do you mean by easy? And Generally, most of you guys might have think, if you want to learn any programming language, you should have previous programming skills, isn't it? So many people believe that we need to have it previously, you need to know something. Otherwise, you cannot learn any programming language now. And trust me, if you want to learn SAS, you no need to have any previous programming skills. No previous programming skills at all. And some of you might have believed that if you want to learn any programming language, you should have at least +2 mathematical skills. Intermediate, maybe intermediate, +2 mathematics. And trust me, if you want to learn SAS, though it is a programming language, though it is a analysis language, you no need to have any mathematical skills. All we need to have only maybe 5th or 6th standard skills. 5th or 6th standard, that would be more than enough. And some of you might believe that, if you want to learn any programming language, we are going to use high-end English, very high standard English. It is going to be very difficult to understand, very difficult to remember, and very difficult to reproduce. Believe me, while we are writing a program in SAS, we are going to use very, very common English terminology that we use in everyday communication. Very common English keywords that we use, when you're conversing with your friend, when you're communicating with your friend. What are the simple English keywords that you use? By using those simple common English keywords, we can write the program. So you do not require any previous programming skills, and you do not require any mathematical skills, and you do not require high-end English, very common, simple English, we are going to use it. That's why I could say SAS is very, very easy. All you need to know is very fundamentals of computers. How to create a folder, how to copy the text, how to paste the text, how an Excel sheet looks like. If you know that information, that would be more than enough. I'm going to teach you from the scratch. I'm going to take care of you for the next 5 to 6 months, and I will teach you from the fundamentals, from the scratch. And by the end of the 5th or 6th months, you're going to become, a clinical SAS programmer with a complete knowledge. All I'm requesting you guys is like, whatever I say in the class, and you have to practice it. The same thing again and again. I will not ask you one extra thing. What and all I'm going to teach you in the class, the same thing you have to practice. I will provide you the notes. I will provide you the data. I will provide you the examples, and I will provide you the tasks, and I will provide you the extra information, materials, books, and whatnot. What and all you want to, I'm going to provide you. All you need to spend at least every day 2 to 3 hours on SAS practice. Initially, you may require only 1 hour, 1.5 hours, but the time goes, and after the 2 months or 3 months, you may require 7 to 8 hours of practice. Practice is very, very important. The secret mantra for SAS is only the practice. You don't require rocket science. You don't require so much of intelligence or a talent. All you need to have hard work, practice. SAS is so volatile. What you mean by volatile? It is going to be evaporated very easily. If you do not practice for a couple of days, you will forget everything. Seriously, I'm warning you. If you do not do practice on daily basis, continuously, every day, if you didn't practice for a couple of days, you will forget everything. So be careful. Do practice thoroughly every day, continuously. So then 100% you're going to get succeeded. There is a lot of demand right now for SAS. The advantage with the clinical SAS is if you are to come into the clinical SAS, we are going to have a calls for 365 days. There is no on season or off season because clinical research is evergreen. We are going to have a interview calls for 365 days. You no need to worry about the job. After completion of our course, the next day you can apply for a job. And on next day, very next day, you are going to get a call. That is guaranteed that I can give you. Understand? So the goal should for for us, like, for the next 6 months is going to be only the SAS. We are not going to read this or practice this, learn this for certification point of view, or a certificate purpose, or a degree purpose, or a marks purpose. This is entirely we are learning to get a job. So 100% you should dedicate yourself to SAS, and you should do practice. And if you have any doubts, please let me know at any point of the time. Yes, we have a WhatsApp groups, and you can share your program. If you have any doubts, please let me know so that I can help you. Understand this one? Can I start writing the program code now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, I told you SAS has got 4 functionalities, and the first functionality is data access. What do you mean by data access? What do you mean by data access? In the real time, we are going to have a data outside. Now, you should get the data from the outside into the SAS, and getting the data from outside into the SAS is called as a data access. That means we should access the data from outside into the SAS. Outside ante ekkada untundi? What do you mean by outside?
Some
Outside means
sources like
outside
Excel.
the SAS software. Maybe data can be present maybe in Excel sheet. Sometimes data may be present in a CSV file. I will show you what you mean by CSV. It is also looks like an Excel sheet only. And sometimes data may be present in a text file, or data sometimes may be present in MS Access file, or sometimes data may be present in any commercially available database. Different companies will hire different databases. So for example, Kotak Mahindra, they hire Oracle database. They have an Oracle database. Maybe Citibank, they have a DB2. Wipro company, they use a Teradata. And there is a what you call database called Sybase. And there is a database called, Oracle SQL Plus. And there is a database called, if it is a clinical trials company or CRO company, there is a database called Rave. And some companies, they use, say, for example, clinical Oracle. All these are commercially available databases. Now, data can be anywhere, any of the locations. What ultimately we should do now? We should get the data from any of these locations source we should get into SAS. That is our requirement. If you do that one, that we call data access. In today's class, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a text file as an example. If the data is present in a text file, how to write a program to get the data into SAS. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we'll see how to get the data if the data present in Excel sheet or a CSV file or maybe MS Access file or maybe present in any of these databases. We can try that one later gradually. So in today's class, I'm going to get the data from where I'm going to get? I'm going to get the data from a text file into SAS environment. And this is an example for data access. Everybody clear? Could you able to follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
If you
Yes,
have
sir.
any difficulties, please let me know. Okay? Because these fundamental things are very, very important for starting. Now, I'm minimizing my SAS software. I'm on my desktop. If you could able to see carefully on my desktop, I have a folder called SAS. If I open this SAS folder, I have one more folder in this, and this folder name is SAS data. If I open this folder again, in this folder, I have again so many folders, and along with the folders, I have other files as well. Now, here I have one of the file is called demo1. And by the way, what is this file? Anybody knows this file?
No, sir.
Text file.
This is called as a text file. How do you know this is a text file? We know this as a text file. I can see here, type text document. Can you see this one? But in most of the computers, you cannot see this text document. But if you want to know what file it is. You know what we should do? You should select that file first and you should give a right click. And after giving the right click, now we should go to properties. Now, if you click on the properties, now we are going to have a window called demo1 properties. So that means that this is the properties window for the demo1 file. In the properties window, here I have an option called type of file. In the type of file, can you see what I have here? Text document.
Text document.
Text document.
That means this file is a text document. This is how we can understand what type of file it is. Now, this is a demo1 text document. I am opening this text document. In this text document, I have few lines of information. And I told you, information is also called as a data. This is the data I am having. If you carefully observe this data is about whom? What is this data? Are you getting any idea about this data?
Raw data.
We have
We have
names.
here, say for example, 101 something, Usha, 29, female,
Salary and the
4000,
location.
Hyderabad.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Now,
sir.
here in this
Salary.
text file, very good. In this text file, I have information about 23 employees who works in a small company. Information about 23 employees. What is the employee ID? What is the name of that employee? Each and every employee. What is the age of each and every employee? What is their gender? And then their salary. And then finally we have where they're working, their location. This is the information I'm having. Since we have a 23 employees, so each employee information is coming in one row, one record, or one line. Now, in this text file, I have this 23 employees information. Now, what is my target now? I want to get this information from the demo1 text file into SAS. చూడండి ఈ demo1 text file లో ఉన్న ఈ డేటాని నేను ఇప్పుడు ఎక్కడ తీసుకురావాలండి? ఇప్పుడు ఇదిగో ఈ SAS ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ లోపల తీసుకురావాలి. ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడికి తీసుకురావాలి. This is not so easy. You cannot drag and drop it. If you want to get this information from outside into the SAS, now you should write the program. Not only in SAS, in any analysis tool, after getting the data, how we are going to store the data? We always store and keep the data in a form of a table. Are you ever seen any table? How a table looks like?
Rows and columns.
Rows and columns.
Very good. A table is going to have a vertical columns or horizontal rows.
Rows.
Now, say for example,
Observations and variables.
I'm giving a task. And the task is, I have given a pen and paper. Okay, I have given a pen and paper. I asked you, please go to the classroom. There we have a 10th class students. From the students, please collect each and every student hall ticket number, each and every student name, each and every student age and their gender, get their how many marks they have got and how much of fee they have been paid. I have given a pen and paper. In the class, there are 50 students and I asked you, please collect data from all the 50 students. What is the data I want to have? I want to have each and every student hall ticket number, name, age, sex, marks, and fee. Now tell me how we are going to collect this data on a paper. How we are going to collect the data?
Tabular form.
Table forms.
Very good. First, on the paper, you are going to write first hall ticket number. Then you are going to write the name of the student. Then we are going to write age of the student. Then you are going to write gender of the student. Then you are going to write how many marks he or she has got. And finally, how much of fee they paid. You are going to write like this one and you are going to write a line like this one. Then you will go to the first student. And you will ask their hall ticket number. Then you are going to ask their name. And then you are going to ask their age. And then you are also going to ask the gender. And then you will go with the marks, how many marks he or she has got. Then how much of fee she he has been paid 10,000. Now we'll go to the second student, 102, and you will get, name, and then you will get age, and you will get the gender, and you will get the box, and then you will get the fee, how much she has been paid. Now you will go to the third student, and you will go to the fourth student, and you are going to collect the data like this one. Now, if you collect the data in this format, now what you call this as a name? Remember what you call this as a name? This is a table. This is a table. This is how a table looks like. Now tell me, if this is the table, in this table, how many columns we have?
Six.
6 columns. All ticket number is a column, name is a column, age is a column, sex is a column, box is a column, and fee is a column. Now tell me, how many rows we have in this table?
3, sir.
3 rows. Sir. If I collect the data from all the 50 students, how many rows I'm going to have?
50.
Yes, very good. We are going to have 50 rows. So if I put all the 50 students information into one table, this table is going to have 6 columns and 50 rows. In the same way, now tell me, if I want to put this data in a table, how many columns I should have? How many rows I'm going to get? We are going to have 6 columns and we are going to have a 23 rows because we have 23 employees. Each employee is going to come as in a one row, and that is how we are going to get it. And yes, we are going to have 6 columns. Now, what I want to do, I want to get this information from the demo1 text file into SAS. So how we are going to get the information? We should get the information in a form of a table. If you want to put this information to a table, we should have 6 columns. By the way, in the real time, each and every table should have a name. ప్రతి table కి ఒక name ఉంటుందండి. What is the name that you can have? For example, if this is my data, I want to have my table name as employee.
Apply.
And if this is the data, you can have a table name, maybe class 10 or class X. So you no need to worry about the table name in the real time. The sponsor is going to tell you what is the table name he wants to have. In today's class, since I am providing you the data, I am going to tell you what is the table name you should have and what the column names we should have. Now, I am going to start writing a program to get the data from this text file into the SAS. Now, how to write a program now? Remember, by the way, this is how a SAS software looks like. I'm closing the SAS software first of all. Can you see on my desktop? Here I have a taskbar. Can you see? On the down I have a taskbar. On my taskbar, I have a SAS icon here. Now, if I click on this SAS icon, it is going to open SAS 9.4 version. This is the latest version that we are using. This is the latest version we are using. In the real time, we also follow and use the same version. Don't worry about what are the windows that we have, how to use all those windows and all. I will discuss about that later. In next couple of classes, just see, observe what I'm doing. Try to understand the things because online class, I'm the first time I'm taking the class. It will take some time to get adjusted to my class because you might have come across different faculties. Since I'm a new one, so it will take some time to understand. So first couple of classes, just observe the things what I'm doing and try to understand what I'm saying. Okay, now here we have different windows and we always write a program in a window called editor window. And you see here we have editor window. In the editor window only, we write the SAS program. Now I'm enlarging this editor window. Now I'm going to start writing the program. By the way, in SAS, how to write a program? 50% of the times, we start our program with the keyword of data. Most of the times we start our program with the keyword of data. If you start your program with the keyword of data, we call it as a data step. మీరు డేటా అనే కీవర్డ్తో కనుక ప్రోగ్రామ్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే ఏమనాలండి దీన్ని డేటా స్టెప్. జనరల్గా మనం రియల్ టైంలో డేటా స్టెప్ ఎందుకు రాస్తాం? డేటా స్టెప్ 2 ఇంపార్టెంట్ రీజన్స్ వల్ల రాస్తామండి. మీకు ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పాను శాస్లో ఎన్ని ఫంక్షనాలిటీస్ ఉన్నాయండి? వాట్ ఆర్ ద ఫంక్షనాలిటీస్ వీ హ్యావ్?
4.
4
So,
data
out of 4
Management.
functionalities, data access చేయడం కోసం and for the data management we use data step. Understand? For the data access and the data management we use data step. By the way, what do you mean by data step? మీరు ప్రోగ్రామ్ స్టార్ట్ చేసేటప్పుడు డేటా అనే కీవర్డ్ తో స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే ఇఫ్ యూ స్టార్ట్ ఎవర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ విత్ ద కీవర్డ్ ఆఫ్ డేటా వీ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ డేటా స్టెప్. And sometimes we start our program with the keyword of proc. If you start our program with the keyword of proc, we call it as a proc step. By the way, proc means procedure. Proc means procedure. So if you start our program with the keyword of proc, we call it as a proc step. Generally, why we write the proc step? We write the proc step for 2 important functions. One is for data analysis, and the second important reason is data management. Sorry, data
reporting
or data presentation. So data step is useful for access and management. Proc step is useful for analysis and reporting. But this is not any strict rule. We should follow only data step for access and management. Sometimes we use proc step for access and management also. And sometimes we use data step for analysis and reporting also. But majorly, data step is useful for access and management, and the proc step is useful for analysis and reporting. Now, I want to do the data access. Tell me, what is the step I should follow? What is the step I should start now?
Data step.
Very good. Since I want to do the data access, now I'm going to start my program with the keyword of data. I told you, if you start our program with the keyword of data, we call it as a data step. చూడండి, ఇదిగో ఫస్ట్ యూ షుడ్ రైట్ DATA data keyword, and at least you should give 1 space. After the 1 space, now we should write what is the table you want to create. I told you each and every table should have a name. Now, what is the table you want to create? Now you should write the table name. I want to create a table called EMP. Now I am writing my table name EMP. Or if you want to write a more complete name, you can also write data employee. So that means I want to create a table called employee. Now, this is one statement in SAS. We always write a program in a form of a statement. Statements laga rastanu. Now this is one statement. How to say in SAS this is one statement? You can say it by keeping a semicolon. If you write a semicolon, that means this is end of one statement. That means this is one statement. Now I have completed my first statement. Now I want to write the second statement. Generally, we write the second statement in the next line. Okay, I'm creating a table called employee. That is good. But where we have the data? To create this table, where we have the data? You know where we have
In
the
the
data?
text file.
The
In the text
data
file.
is present on my desktop. On my desktop, I have a SAS folder. In the SAS folder, I have SAS data folder. In the SAS data folder, we have demo1 text file. In this text file, we have the data. Now, you should tell the SAS system that data is present in this text file. No? If you do online order, so you booked say, a mobile in Amazon, If you want to get that parcel directly into your door, into you, or if you want to get that parcel, what you should do? You should give accurate address, correct address, along with the door number, your name, door number, flat number, and you should write the apartment number and a landmark and the pin code, area, and you should write the state. And if you write all the information properly, then the parcel is going to come directly to you. The same way, if you want to create a table called employee, you should tell the SaaS system where exactly this data is present, and you should give the address of that file. How to give the address? This data is present on my desktop, in the SaaS folder, in the SaaS data folder, in that a file called demo1. In the file demo1, we have the data. And how we can tell that one? If you want to tell SaaS system where this file is located, you should get the location. How to
From
get the location
properties.
of demo1? If you want to know the
Plus
location, if you want to know the location, now what you should do? Now just activate this demo1 file and give a right click. When you give a right click, now we are going to have a window like this one. And the last, we have an option called properties. Now you should click on the properties. Now, when you click on the properties, now we have a window called demo1 properties. The demo1 properties, we have one of the option. Can you see here? Location. Here we have a location, and then here we have the location of this file. What we need to do? We need to copy this location. How to copy? First of all, we need to select this one. By keep your cursor there and drag it to right side. Okay, and I'm going to copy this, entire path. So see what I'm going to do. I'm going to give again right click, go to properties, and now copy the entire location. Select it and Control plus C. Now go to the program and we should paste the path here. And to tell that where we have, now we are going to write a statement called in file. That means where we have the file that we are getting. In file. Now you should paste the path of the demo1 text file. So can you see, if we carefully observe, here we have a desktop. On the desktop, what is the folder that we have? SaaS folder. In the SaaS folder, again, what is the folder we have? SaaS data. So now we have the address or location up to the folder in which folder the demo1 file is present. But tell me, in the SaaS data folder, what is the name of the file? Demo1. Now we should tell this information is present in the demo1 text file. How we can tell that one? Every time from one folder to another folder, we have a backward slasher, and you should write one more time a backward slasher, and then you should write the file name. And the file name is demo1. Yes, we should write the file name. And if you carefully observe the SaaS data folder, in the SaaS data folder, here, demo1 file. Now, can you see how many demo1 files we have? 3 demo1. Out of these 3, which demo1 file we have the data?
Text data.
You know that it is text file. How to tell it to the SaaS system? The data is present exactly in this demo1. Now, how we can tell that one? In the real time, each and every file is going to have a unique extension. ప్రతి ఫైల్ కి కూడా ఒక యూనిక్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ ఉంటుందండి. ఆ యూనిక్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ కూడా రాసినప్పుడు that is going to be the complete path of a specific file. What is the unique extension for the demo1 text file? How do you know that one? What we should do? On the text file, again, give a right click, go to properties. Now, can you say in the properties we have type of file. In the type of file, can you say what we have here? Text document. Of the text document, can you say what we have in the brackets?
TXT.
We have, if you carefully observe, we have a .txt. You carefully observe it. Can you see this one? We have a dot symbol and then we have a txt, dot txt. And this is a unique extension for this demo1 text file. So that means with the demo1, we can create only one text file in this folder. You cannot create two demo1 text files. But here I also demo1, this is a different demo1. This is a table and this demo1 is an Excel sheet. So with one name, you can have only one file. One type of file, you can have only one name. So now I should tell, so yes, a demo1 is a text file and this is the extension we call it. Now go to the program and you know what we should do? After the demo1, you should write dot txt. So that means specifically I'm telling this demo1 is the text file. This is how we should write path of any file in SAS. Understand this one? And you should remember one very important thing. Whenever you are writing any file path in SAS, you should always keep that file path within the inverted commas, within the inverted quotations. That means if you specify inverted quotation, single inverted quotation at one side, on the other side also, now you should specify the single inverted comma. But if you specify double inverted quotations at one side, on the other side also, you should write double inverted quotations only. Understand? This is the rule. Again, either you should write on both sides single or both sides double inverted quotation. Understand this one? Now, this is the end of second statement. How to say this is the end of the second statement? If you specify semicolon, now this is second statement got over. Now, I want to write the third statement. Okay, I'm creating employee table. To create this employee table, yes, I'm getting the data from this so-and-so location. That is also fine. But now, in this table, in which columns you want to put this data? Now, to write the column names, now we are going to write a third statement called input. The input statement,
Hello, sir. This is Sudarshan.
Yes, Sudarshan.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead,
Sir,
Sudarshan.
can you tell me again unique extension? Can you explain it again, sir?
Okay. Do you know what type of files that we are going to have in general in computer? Like we are going to have Excel sheets. We are going to have the CSV files. We are going to have the PDF files. We are going to have a Word document, isn't it? Word document. And we are going to have a PowerPoint presentation, PPT files. And we are going to have so many types, right? So each and every type of file is going to have a specific extension. Specific extension. And that is called as a unique extension. What is the unique extension for general Excel sheets? For Excel sheet, the unique extension is .xls. In future, we are going to see CSV files. For the CSV files, it is going to be .csv. We are going to see in future PDF files. For the PDF files, the unique extension is going to be .pdf. We are going to have a Word document, MS Word document. That unique extension is going to be .rtf. In the same way, for a PPT, what we are going to have? We are going to have a .ppt. In the same way, for a text file, the unique extension is .txt. Understand this one?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can understand. Thank you.
Okay. Now, I'm going to the program again. Now, I'm writing input. Now tell me, if I want to put this information to a table, you said you should have 6 columns. Now, in the real time, each and every column should have a name. So, in each and every line, I have values like 101, 102, 103, 104, like this one. Now tell me, this information, if you want to keep it in a column, what is the best suitable column name? Say, for example, I want to put that information into a column called EMPID. Understand this one? Now, in the each and every line, the second value that we have, Usha, Kiran, Ramu, Leena, Harsha, Lata, like this one. Yes, I want to keep this information into a column called name. And by the way, when you're writing a column names, between the column names, you should have at least one space. But can you please suggest me what is the best column name for the third value?
Age.
Age.
And the fourth one?
Gender.
Next one?
Salary.
Salary.
And finally?
Location.
Very good. So now I'm writing EMPID name. Then I'm writing one space age. Then one space I'm writing gender. Then one space I'm writing the salary. And finally, I'm going to write location LOC. Now, end of the statement. What we should say, how we can say end of the statement?
Semicolon.
Semicolon. Now, this is the end of the program. In SAS, how we can say this is the end of the program? We can say it by writing a statement called run, semicolon. If you write run statement is always the last statement of a program. By the way, this is a SAS program. Understand this one? Now, I have written the program. Now, what we should do after writing the program? We should execute the program. How to execute this program? How we can do this one? How we can do this one?
By proxy.
Now see, first of all,
Submit.
we need to select the program, whichever program you want to execute. And what we should do, can you see here on my taskbar, this is called as in a toolbar. On my toolbar, I have a button called submit. This is called run button. A person is running mode. Can you see this one? ఒక మనిషి పరిగెడుతున్నట్టుగా ఉంటుందండి. So this is called submit button or execution button. If you click on this submit button, this program will be get executed. Or otherwise, in your keyboard, you should click on F3 button. Okay. Now, if you want to execute this program, first we need to select the program. And yes, I'm going to click on this submit button. When I click on this submit button, now this program will be get executed. What is the result of this program? Why I'm writing this program? The result of this program is going to be creation of a table called employee.
Right.
So where this table has been created? If you see my SAS software here, on my left side here, we have a navigation panel. Can you see here? We have a pane. In this pane, and we have a folder called libraries. If you click on this libraries, now in the libraries, can you see? We have 6 libraries, and one of the library, here is the work library. So automatically, when you execute any program, if the program is creation of a table, that table will be get created in this work library. Now, I'm going to give a double click on this work library. Now, can you see here? In the work library, we have employee table. What I'm going to do? First of all, I'm going to delete this one, and I will execute the program again one more time. I'm selecting the program. I'm going to click on the submit button. As soon as I click on the submit button, we have a table called employee. By the way, in SAS, this is how a table looks like. If I open this table, and we are going to have the data. Now, can you see what is the data that we have? What is this one?
Yes, sir.
Critical data.
The table content. Only numerical.
Only?
Oh.
That's a different story. But now can you tell me in which columns we got the data? We got the data in EMPID column. We got the data in age column. We have data in the salary column. But unfortunately, we didn't get the data in the name column, we didn't get the data in the gender column, and we didn't get the data in the location column.
So I must dollar symbol in front of name.
Now, what is the commonality that you can understand, you guys?
Only numeric.
Only numeric.
Only numeric data.
We got only numerical values, so didn't get the character data. We didn't get the alphabets. Understand? You know why? Because by default, SAS can understand only numerical data. What we should do if you want to get the character data? In the real time, are we going to have only numerical data every time? No.
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 Sometimes we'll get the character data. Sometimes we'll put both mixed data. Now, what we should do if you want to read that character data successfully into that employee table. In whichever column you want to read the character data, in the input statement, after the column name, what we should do? You need to specify a special symbol called dollar symbol. This dollar symbol will indicate this column is character column. Now it can read character data successfully into that column. Now see, after the name, by the way, you can write this dollar symbol by giving at least one space, or without space also, we can write the dollar symbol. Better to give at least one space. Now I'm selecting the program again one more time. Executing the program one more time. Yes, we have employee table. If I open the employee table, now can you see? We have the data in the name column. Still, we didn't get the data in the gender column and location column. Tell me, what should I do if you want to get the data into gender and location?
We have to put dollar symbol.
Again,
Dollar sign.
Dollar
in the
symbol
input
should
statement,
be
after
included.
the gender, again, what we should do? We have to specify $1 symbol. Again, after the location also, you need to specify a dollar symbol. Understand? Now, after writing the dollar symbol after gender and location, I'm selecting the program again one more time. I'm executing the program one more time. Again, employee table has been created one more time. If I open the employee table, now can you see? We have the data in the EMPID. We have data in the name column, days column, gender column, salary column, and in the location column. Understand this one? Now, in this table, we have 6 columns. And how many rows we have?
23
We
rows.
have 23 rows. And this is called a SAS table. This is how we write a program to create a table. Write a program to get the data from a text file into a SAS table. Be able to understand this concept?
Yes, sir.
Anybody has got any difficulties in this one?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Anybody have any doubts? Can you please
Sir,
let me know?
is
Yes.
there anything that we have to enter after pasting the thing location in the in file line at the end?
Now, can you tell me a program? How to get the data? In the same SAS data folder, I have a file called blood. In the blood text file, by the way, what is this file? Text file is Excel sheet?
Text.
Text file.
Text file. In the text file, blood text file, this is the data I'm having. I'm having patient ID, gender, and blood group, age group, WBC, RBC, cholesterol. This is the data I'm having. I want to create a table from this data. Manvi, can you help me to write a program for this one so that you can understand whether what we should write after that one?
Yeah, sir, sure.
Tell me how to write the program.
data.
Space.
The
I want to have a table name blood.
blood. Okay.
Data space.
Semicolon.
Data space.
Blood.
Okay.
Semicolon.
Semicolon.
In file.
Then we should write a statement called in file.
In file.
What we should write in the in file?
And we have to copy the properties.
Right click.
Okay.
Properties.
And location.
Copy the location. Put the program. Paste it.
Apostrophe.
Data text. Data text.
Backward slash, because we got the location up to the folder only.
Unique
Blood.
What is the file name we have there?
unique name or dot text. Dot txt.
Now we should write blood dot
txt.
txt. Then Manvi, what we should do?
Inverted apostrophes.
Inverted quotations, right?
Yeah.
If I keep a double inverted quotation at one side, other side also, what we should do?
Same.
Same double inverted quotation. Then what we should do?
Semicolon.
Semicolon.
Semicolon. Then
Input.
what is input? In the input, what we should do?
Name. Sorry.
This is my data, by the way. Not this one. This
Patient
is the,
ID.
yeah. I will show you data one more time. Yes, I want to have patient ID, gender, blood
Patient
group,
ID, gender,
Blood
blood
group.
age group,
age group,
WBC, RBC, cholesterol.
platelet, cholesterol.
Tell me. Patient ID, PT ID,
Gender.
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 Age group.
I think we have blood group, no?
Yes, blood groups.
Blood group,
Blood group. Age group.
blood group,
Age group.
age group,
Age group.
RBC.
ABC.
ABC,
RBC.
Cholesterol.
cholesterol,
Semicolon.
semicolon,
Run.
Run.
Dollar.
Semicolon.
Dollar.
Where we should keep the dollar symbol?
For gender, blood
Side
group.
For characters.
Gender. Age group.
Blood. Sorry.
Blood group,
Blood
Age
group.
group.
Age group.
age group.
Okay. Yes, sir. That's it. That's
I'm
it.
selecting the program. How to execute the program?
F3 or
Select and run.
Submit button.
man walking.
Or submit button.
Now we have a blood table.
Open it.
Yes, we have the data in 7 columns. How many rows we have?
I think 1,000.
1000 rows.
This is how we write the program when we have a data in text file. Understand, Manvi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. So see you in tomorrow's class.
Sir, small doubt, sir.
Just go ahead.
How to use remote desktop in laptop, sir? Can you explain that?
I will definitely explain. Tomorrow I will explain, okay? I will show you how to access our remote desktop, okay? No need to worry. I will tell you how to access, how to write the code. I will tell you everything.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I have a doubt here. Sir, can we include a variable, one more variable?
Yes, we can write. Say for example, I want to have a hospital name as the names. But do we have the hospital name in this?
No.
No, sir.
What
No.
we can do now, see in the same program I am writing. Say for example, hospital is equal to, now I am writing names.
NIMS, sir. It's NIMS.
If I execute this program, along with the 7 variables, now we are going to have an 8th variable. Can you say what the value have?
Nibs.
Okay.
Normally we use double one, sir. You have used single one.
I told both double quotations and single quotations works.
Anything is fine.
Anything is fine.
Okay, okay. Thanks.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
In the new column, you haven't taken any dollar here, but anyway, it is showing names in the table.
Yes, sir.
It is a
See,
character data, no?
no. When you are getting the data from text file, you have to tell which one is a character.
Okay.
But when writing a program is one, if you keep anything in the quotation, SAS can automatically can understand whether it's in a character data or numerical. Say for example, see, if I write fee is equal to 10,000. Now, since I am writing something openly like this one, SAS can think it is a numerical variable. Okay, if I write something within the quotations, now SAS thinks it is a character data. Understand, Vanita?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
We'll
So one
discuss
more.
about that one in detail later. Yes, yes.
Sir, in a character variable, how many characters can be there, sir, to get into the table?
I mean, you are asking about this one, right? Say, for example, what is the length we can have? Here we
Yes,
have
yes.
4. In future, I will let you know if it is a character variable, maximum you can have 32,767.
Okay, sir.
And the minimum you can have 1.
Okay, sir. Sir, but when I was practicing on the remote desktop the later day,
Huh?
I have written like hyperlipidemia, but it hasn't taken the complete word.
It will take only 8.
Okay, okay.
By default, it can read only 8. I will let you know how
Okay.
to read when we have more than 8 characters.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Since we are into the very starting, we'll discuss that one later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hello sir. This is Mohit from Delhi location. So today,
Yes, Mohit.
first time I have joined this class of you. So I
Okay.
want to ask a general question regarding the course related. So admins told me that it is a 5 to 6 month course in which we cover base and advanced session 3 months, and later on we dedicate 2 months for the projects, right?
Yes.
So, sir, could you please tell me how much time is dedicated for base and advanced in for this whole course? And could you please let me know the what type of projects we will be assigned and work upon?
So generally, we take 3 months to 3.5 months for base and advanced SAS. Okay. Once you have
Okay.
done with the base and advanced SAS, so then I will let you, or like I'm going to teach you C-disk project. Some people call it as a clinical project, and some of you might have called it as a C-disk project, but whatever it might be, in the C-disk project, I'm going to give you 2 real-time live projects.
Okay.
Okay. And if you are
But
interested, I can give you more and more. We have so many projects in the server, but I'm going to teach you 2 projects so that you can work on the other projects as well.
so it is for clinical, sir. I am from BFSI domain, banking domain.
Okay, in the if you are looking for a banking domain, the other faculty will take the banking project. I think he is
Okay,
also
okay,
going to
okay.
give the 2 projects.
Okay, so but training will be given on both type of project, clinical and banking, right?
Yes, yes, separately.
Okay.
But for everyone, base and advance is going to be the same. So
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
base and advance, both of the students is going to sit together. But when you come for the project, so there's going to be separate faculty for the banking and separate one for the clinical.
Okay, okay.
I think banking project won't take that much time. You can finish it in one month.
Okay.
So altogether, this comes around 4.5 months or something.
Okay.
Yes, yes, Chandrasekhar.
Sir, could you please start the class at 7:15, sir? Because we are reaching around 7:10, so we are missing some of
Anyway, I'm starting, by coming all of you, it's taking 7:15 only,
because I logged around 7:10, sir. So I thought I missed some class.